Morning all. Yeah, it's Saturday, it's about 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. Apologies for looking rough as a badger's arse. I'm just back my park run and I thought I would just get this done before I jump into the shower. Fortunately, video cameras cannot pick up smell, or else yeah, you probably wouldn't want to be watching this. But anyway, yeah, apologies about it being late again. I mean, it's called the Friday Waffle for a reason, because they normally come out on a Friday, but the last couple of weeks I've had a mate and his kids have come over the last two Fridays, hence the reason I'm doing it this morning. So how are you all? I'm absolutely fine. Pretty good actually, yeah. Had a mega busy week at work again. I was at the computer club on Tuesday. What did I take along? I took along Raspberry Pi and my projector. I was very kindly given a projector by a mate about a year ago. It's old, but you know what? It works brilliantly. It doesn't have HDMI, anything like that at all. You've got to plug in, it's like a VGA cable, whatever it is, but works really well. So where we have our computer club, it's in a church, which is quite nice considering Games Master was first featured in a church. So there's something quite iconic that we have our I never really thought about that until I just mentioned it there, that we have our computer club in a church, and there's a caretaker who basically looks after the church. Now, we've been doing this club thing for, I don't even know how long we've been running the club for. It must be getting on close to 8 years, 9 years. It's been a long time. And but this guy, he used to turn up, let us into the place, and he would basically hang about. But he now trusts us, so basically he's given us the code to the church. So we just basically go along, let ourselves in, and we normally sit in this. We've got this room that we sit in. We put all this stuff together. But because he's not there, we've now taken it upon ourselves to actually go into the main church hall. And we're not, we do look after. We're all grown men. We do look after things. We don't neglect anything. But we go into this large church hall. Now what I've done is I've set up the projector right in the middle of the church, pretty far back, and it gives, I don't know, a 10 feet screen. Absolutely, can you imagine a small cinema screen with this thing running? It looks awesome. Looks absolutely awesome. I've got a Bluetooth sound bar which I use for the sound. One problem is that the picture kept cutting out, and it turns out that I think it's the Raspberry Pi. My mate Mike seemed to think that the Pi wasn't getting enough current. Raspberry Pis they're quite sensitive to the power supply. You need to have a good, I don't understand, I didn't do physics at school, so I don't understand wattage and ampage and all that kind of nonsense, but all I know is it needs a powerful enough projector. Projector? Shut up, Alan. It needs a powerful enough PSU, and even though I was using a proper Pi one, Mike seemed to think that it wasn't giving enough juice, so it's like cutting out all the time, which was a pain in the arse. But always good, always really good. Now there was a young lady actually came along to the club. Now that in itself is quite unusual. I mean, we're very much a bloke thing. I think there was a guy who came along with his girlfriend about maybe 6-7 years ago, right back in the early days, but they only turned up once and never saw him again. But this girl turned up, and she'd actually contacted us on Facebook and said that she had a pile of Spectrum games and PlayStation 2 games and asked if anybody wanted them. Now I put my hands up, and I mean I'm paying her. I'm giving her money for them. I've offered her 20 quid, which I think, to be fair, I think it's not a bad price, because it's PlayStation 2 games and Spectrum games. Now I don't normally do pick-up videos. I don't really see the point. They're not really my bag, but I just thought, for shit and giggles, let's go through this. I've not really looked at it in any detail. So this is what I've got. What have I got here? Review Revolution, even, for the Spectrum. These are all Spectrum games. I'm not going to do the boxing complete bollocks. Rebel Planet for the Spectrum. I do remember seeing that screenshot of the kind of bear at the bottom. I always remember seeing that in various magazines. I think that's some kind of arcade. This looks interesting. Bomberman Kart for the PlayStation 2. Never even knew that was a thing. So yeah, Bomberman Kart. SpongeBob. SpongeBob SquarePants. I'm an absolute twat. X-Men New Dimension. No idea what that's like. Star Wars Bounty Hunter. No idea. Usually the Star Wars games are utter shit. This is one I'll never play. Harry Potter. A true anecdote. I actually used to share an office and play squash with a guy who went on to become J.K. Rowling's husband, no less. I never even got an invite to the wedding. Shrek 2, I think. I'm sure I used to play, or I didn't play, I'm sure Ava used to play that on the Xbox. Now this is a good game. I've got this in the Wii. Rayman Raven Rabbits. It's actually really good fun. It's a good game. Pinball. Classic pinball, like you've never seen it before. Well, I've never seen this before until now, funnily enough. I mean, that's not bad. Star Wars 2 Jigsaw Legacy, whatever it's called. Jigsaw? Where? I really need to put my false teeth back in again. A couple more games for the PlayStation. Lord of the Rings, no idea, never played it. No any real interest. 007 Nightmare. Don't know. That's all the thing, the games, right? What else have we got? War in Middle-earth. She was obviously a bit of an adventure freak. Back to the Future 2. We were actually talking about that. We were talking about Lone Boys post 1975 is basically asking the question, why has there never been a good Back to the Future game? Spyro the Dragon. Eva used to like that. What's that? Ghostbusters 2 shite. A bit like the film. This is a good game. Never played in the Spectrum. Trailblazer by Sean Sutton. Funnily enough, I'm going to be talking to him in a few weeks' time. What's this? Turbo Outrun. Never played it. If it's anything like the original, it's a lot of shite. Asterix. Asterix is one of these odd kind of cartoons. I mean, it was obviously was it French? I think it was. Hero Quest. I think I played that in Amiga. Yeah, I'm sure I did play that in Amiga. There's a couple of boxes with nothing in it. What's that? There's a lot of a lot of demo tapes, magazine cover discs, magazine Rebel Star complete game apparently. Don't know what this is. A PlayStation 2 game. Can't even see that. Ratchet and Clank. Okay. Right, there's tons and tons. These are all Crash. I don't know. No idea. Sinclair User, I think that one is. I'll probably just give these away. I've really got no interest in the magazine things. Another one. Sinclair User, Operation Thunderbolt. Dizzy, the complete Dizzy collection. Funny, Dizzy's a game I've never really got on with at all. Oh, now there's a good one. Right, what's that? Pokes Party Pack. Sounds like a dodgy video that I watched last week. Horace Goes Skiing, that is the absolute Stonewall classic. Fast Food. Another one of the Dizzy type games. What's that? Crash. See, that's not bad. I mean, you're getting all these games. Crash. Gilligan's Gold. Excellent. Crash. People didn't know they were born getting all these free games back then. Another Sinclair User one. what's that? Death Zone. Space Harrier 2. I didn't even know that was a thing. Is Space Harrier 2 a game? Why did nobody keep me informed? Ah, there's a PlayStation game. Dance Stage Euromix. Utter shit. Right, what's this? Crash. Oops, a daisy. What's that? I have no idea. Spectrum user again, I think, and another Crash one. Yeah. Tons and tons and oodles of magazines. Interesting to know just how many there actually were. Right, there's Sinclair user again. Sinclair user again. What's that there? Sinclair user, it's got a complete pool game no less. What I might have to do is organise a competition or something to give all this stuff away. Not all of it, but you know, a lot of the things. Sinclair user. Sinclair user. See, when you actually look back at all these games, you could have quite literally never bought anything. As long as you were happy to, you know, not to be owning brand new games, you could have quite easily just got buying all these games that were given away, you know. Rasputin, remember that game? I think that was another one of these isometric 3D games. Thundercats. ZX Spectrum Plus User Guide Companion. I love how they use the word companion, like it just sits on your shoulder. You go to the cinema with your companion tape, you go out for a meal with your little companion tape, and you can snuggle up in bed with your little companion tape. Sinclair user, Sinclair user. There's a lot of stuff in here, I have to say. Right, we're gradually getting to the end. What's this? Ah, right, there's Manic Miner. Sadly, it's not the original, it's the added dimension one. I was actually playing that. There's another Ghostbusters 2. Roadrunner. Another Sinclair user. Or is it Spectrum user? I don't know, I'm saying Sinclair user, I've got no idea. Another Sinclair user or Spectrum user, whatever, right? Just another few to go. What's that? Your Sinclair. You can go in there. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. You know, what have we got in here? You know what? I'm just going to hold them all up. You can see there. Oh, we got some Dizzy Games, Feud, Paperboy, Ollie Lisa. Yeah. So a nice bunch of stuff. I can't even use the cassette tapes, but like I said, I've offered her 20 quid. I've not actually accepted it yet. I think that's fine because I mean, PlayStation 2 games, let's be honest, do not go for much money. You don't get very much for a PlayStation 2 game. You're not going to get very much for, you know, what do you call it? You're not going to get very much for your, what's a daisy, for your cassette game things, your magazine cassettes. So if she doesn't want to accept 20 quid, then I'm just going to, I told her I'll just give her the whole lot back again. Right, you go down there, and I'll just quickly pull all these away. So yeah, that was the computer club. I will try and talk and do this at the same time. What was I going to talk about? Yeah, play Blackpool. I don't know if any of you guys sort of get the notifications, the updates on Play Blackpool. Myself and Novabug, Chris, we've now been asked to interview Andrew Hewson, his son, I can't remember what his name is, and the guy, is it Raphael something or other, the guy that did Cybernoid, oh blimey, what else? Cybernoid, my brain's completely fried. He did all these amazing Spectrum games for Hewson, so Chris and myself are going to be interviewing, I says, Andrew Hewson, his son, and Raphael Bloke, and that's on the Saturday, don't know what time, and then we're also going to be interviewing, well sorry, I'm going to be interviewing on my own I think. I mean, I've said to Chris if he wants to take part in the Magnetic Scrolls interview, I'll be quite happy for him to take part in it. I don't know whether he wants to do it or not, but he's going to let me know. So I've got that on the Sunday, so yeah, it should be good fun. If you are coming along to Blackpool, well, and you're going to go to any of these talks, and chances are you're going to see me, please come up and say hello, because that's for me a massive part of, you know, these things. It's all about talking to people. You know, the games are secondary as far as I'm concerned. It's all about meeting people. It's always really nice to meet people. You can get in there. Bugger off. So yeah, I am looking forward to it. I've kind of got the questions that I'm going to be asking Sean Southern and Andrew Morris, because I've already interviewed them from one channel now. You know, I took quite a bit of time putting together these questions, so I don't see any point in reinventing the wheel and trying to come up with new questions, because I kind of asked the questions that I wanted to ask, so hopefully people won't be disappointed. Fingers crossed. Right, you go in there, you go in there, you go in there. So yeah, so that's my pickups. It's pretty good. Like I said, I've offered her 20 quid for it. If she doesn't want it, she can have all back again. So so anyway, listen, I've not really got anything else pending that I want to discuss. No, I've been having great fun with Lacosa, my mate Chris. We did another video 2 days last week, or this week I should say, last week, which will be getting put out probably about maybe 3 weeks time. We're going to make that the last one for a wee while. We did put out a video 4 hours, it was almost 4.5 hours. I can't even remember what we called it again. Yeah, it was 20 games that were lesser known and are worthy of playing. Now, I mentioned Fort Apocalypse as one of mine, and one guy was like, "What? You're having a laugh? Less known?" I didn't say they were unknown, but a lot of people, you need to remember that games like Fort Apocalypse, it was an very early C64 game. It came out 1983, 1984. You know, lots of people, you know, the Commodore 64 was still a viable thing until about 10 years later, 1995. I think it was still, I don't know when the last game came out. I think it was Monsterland Mayhem, whatever it is, Mayhem in Monsterland. I can't remember. That was, I think, the last commercial game. But the C64 was around for about 10 years, and I would almost bet my mortgage, pardon me, that somebody who picked up a C64 in 1990 had never heard of Fort Apocalypse. You know, so that's the purpose of that video. It was to make people aware of games that we felt not everybody knew about. You know, but yeah, 4 hours and 20 minutes I think it ran for, and we don't set out to make videos that long, and obviously we had to film it over 2 days because I don't have the time to talk for 4 hours, and neither does Chris. But you guys seem to enjoy them. I seem to be getting a lot of good feedback. I mean, like I says, we do everything that we say in these videos is meant. Every comment that I make, when I say a game I don't like it, I mean, I mentioned like Uridium and Impossible Mission. There's games that I don't particularly like, and that's my opinion. Doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's just my opinion. We're all different, you know. What one person is going to enjoy doesn't necessarily mean that the other person is going to enjoy. But as I keep saying, the bottom line is it's all about entertainment. If it makes you laugh, then our work is done. It's all about entertaining. I mean, it's got to be fun. I've got to enjoy making videos, and hopefully if I enjoy making a video, that will come across and people will enjoy watching it. So Anyway, yeah, so we've done another one, which I'm not going to tell you what the name of it is. It's going to be coming out in a couple of weeks' time. I will have a follow up to the 4 hour extravaganza, and I don't mind telling you what that one is. Basically, the games that Chris recommended we all play, where I had never really played them, I'm going to play them, and vice versa. Chris has recorded himself playing the games that I recommended people play, so I don't know how long it's going to run for. So basically, you're going to see Chris and I playing the games that we each recommended, just to see what we kind of thought of them. So that'll probably come out, I don't know, it probably won't be next week. It might be next week towards the tail end. Maybe go for a week tomorrow, a week on Sunday, something like that. So anyway, listen, I'm going to batter on the questions. I had a really quick sneaky preview, and there are quite a few questions, some really good ones, so that's probably going to take a wee bit of time, so I'm just going to jump into that right now. Right, okay, let's see. Ian Hunter, thanks for the waffle, Alan. Really enjoyable. Great to hear you're getting back into the guitar. I've not actually picked it up yet, Ian. I own 8 now, 4 6-string and 4 basses, but I'm still struggling to get beyond shite. Still never give up, never surrender. Fantastic. Stephen Thomber, greetings, main meister. Fine waffling again. Got a question for your next one. Who do you think was the most iconic and important person during the whole 80s UK computer revolution, and why? If you'd said who is the most iconic and sort of important person for video games, it would probably have to be... oh, you know what, my mind, see, I tell you, see, one thing that comes with old age is you forget. You just forget. I can't even remember his name, the guy that started up Atari. Oh, that is awful, not Eugene Jarvis. That's terrible. I can't even remember his name. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, but the guy that started up Atari, I can't even remember his name. His name has completely skipped my mind. I think for the UK industry, it 100% has to be Sir Clive Sinclair. I did mention that, was it last week or the week before? Nolan Bushnell, yeah. Yeah, he was the guy who started up Atari. He was the guy that really brought games to the fore. You know, he brought out Pong, and you know, that's what he started up Atari, and that's really what just kind of got the whole thing kicking off. But as far as the UK, it couldn't really, as far as I'm concerned, it couldn't be anyone else other than Sir Clive Sinclair. He brought out a micro that was both powerful to run games, and more importantly, it was affordable. You know, it was computers for the masses. And yeah, I mean, I've watched quite a few programmes about Sir Clive Sinclair, and there's an absolutely fantastic programme that was broadcast to the BBC about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, Micromen. If you've never seen it, watch it. I think it's on YouTube. Micromen is basically chartering the early days of Sinclair research, i.e. sort of Sir Clive Sinclair, and Chris Curry, who used to work for Sir Clive. Chris Curry later left Sinclair to form Acorn, and they brought out obviously the BBC Micro, Acorn Electron, but yeah, it portrays Sir Clive Sinclair as a very, quite an aggressive, quite a violent person, quite an unpleasant individual actually. He was very driven, and he wouldn't ever say no. You know, if somebody told him he couldn't do something, he would go out and prove them wrong. I don't think he's a particularly nice person, but he brought out the Spectrum, and that just kick-started the whole bedroom programming. And a lot of the guys that make games now, they were basically reared on programming the Spectrum, and I really don't think, if it hadn't been for the Spectrum, I don't think the industry would have been what it is. I think we would have eventually got there, because I mean, back in the 80s there were so many companies bringing out computers I mean, what was there? The Commodore 64, the Amstrad, Atari. There was tons and tons of Dragon 32. But the Spectrum, it was affordable. And that was the key point. It allowed people with not a lot of money to get a micro and start getting into games. And that is why I would say he is head and shoulders more important than anybody else in this industry. So anyway, listen, Stephen, thanks very much for your question, mate. Next up, down the rabbit hole, Kev. For the Friday Waffle, hi Alan. Have you ever heard a piece of music from a game you've never played and the music was so good you just had to buy the game? Yeah, absolutely. Monty on the Run. Monty on the Run is, to my mind, it is just an incredible feat of programming. I do still listen to it regularly. There's various remixes that have come out, but you know what, the C64 one still stands up. I ask anybody to listen to that and not agree that it's an amazing achievement. It really is. You know, what Rob Hubbard managed to get out, the sound that he managed to get out with that SID chip was just incredible. Yeah, there's lots of people, you know, that have possibly taken the SID chip even further. I mean, I know Martin Galway, he done some incredible pieces. Is it Jerome Taylor? I can't even remember all the names. There's lots of people. There's probably people that have made music in the last 10 years that is just as good. But Monty on the Run, I read the Zap review and they just went on about how incredible this game was. Monty on the Run is not a game that I would have really bought. I wasn't really into these kinds of games. But I bought that game purely to play the music. As it turns out, the game is really, really nice, but the music is just to die for. It's an incredible tune. It really, really is. So yeah, that's my answer, Chris. Monty on the Run. I didn't actually hear the music, but the Zap review just utterly sold it for me, and I rushed out and bought it. And like everybody else, I was just utterly blown away with the sound that was coming out my TV, coming out this little beige box. Just absolutely incredible. Secondly, have you ever been surprised at how popular or beloved any game has been? So when you're saying, have I been surprised at how popular or beloved any game has been, I suppose you're saying if I was to be surprised, it'd probably be because I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, there's games that, and I just mentioned it when I was going through that box, the Dizzy games. I was an adult. When I got my C64, I was 18 years old. I bought that myself. So I was an adult, and when the Dizzy games came out, I don't know what I would be, 19, 20-year-old. I just looked at the graphics, and to me it looked like a child's game. I had no interest in playing the Dizzy games. I mean, I've seen them, and they're not my bag. They're not my bag at all. Like I said, possibly if I had been younger, I might have got into them, but I'm not going to knock them. I mean, they're, you know, the twins that programmed them. Excuse me. The guys that programmed them are, you know, the games were massively popular. They were affordable. They were like pocket money prices, £1.99, whatever. And they were huge. They were really popular, quite, you know, deservingly so. But they're not games that I really got into at all. But I'm trying to think of any other games that I played and I thought, oh wow, you know, I'm surprised at that. I mean, adventure games, again, they were never really my bag at all. Can't think of any other games really at all, Kev. But no, like I said, the Dizzy games, I looked at them and I'm like, yeah, whatever. But they were massively popular. Like I says, you know, deservedly so. And finally, you have a Virtual Boy. Right, I do indeed. In fact, I'll go and get the Virtual Boy. It's a video, it's not a video, it's a device that you see at the start of all my videos. Here it is here. Here it is here. This is a beautiful bit of kit. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, you know what? I can't switch it on because it gets its power from the actual joystick. You plug the joystick in, but yeah, I'll actually need to do another video about this. I shouldn't be moving that, but yeah, there it's there. There's the Virtual Boy. No, you can't actually see because it's obviously not switched on, but it's an absolutely iconic bit of equipment, and I think it takes a hammer and it doesn't deserve it, and I'm going to explain why. Now let me just quickly read over what you're saying there, Kev. Did you ever wonder why Nintendo released something that was clearly not a finished product with regards to the comfort factor and limited appeal for players? Not a lot of folks like 3D glasses. You know what, Kevin? I think Nintendo get criticised, sometimes quite rightly, for various things, but one thing they're not afraid to do is to try something different. They were the first one to really bring out portable gaming with the Game Boy. They brought out the Wii with the motion controls. That was never a thing. They've brought out a 3D Game Boy, which, and then they brought out this thing. Now I don't know when the Virtual Boy came out. I don't know, 1995. I don't know. I'm not even going to try and guess because I'm probably talking utter crap. Yes, it's not. It's quite weighty. It is quite heavy. You couldn't put like an elastic band around and have it sitting. But now I don't know if you've actually tried one, Kev. But that is all kind of cloth, and you know what? It's actually all right. That is actually quite comfortable. I mean, compared to the PSVR. It's not a kicking arse off any more uncomfortable than one of these. Yeah, because of the weight and because you need the controller, the only way to play it, you got a wee stand. It's like a little stand, metal stand, and basically that sits on the stand, and then you've got the joystick which plugs in underneath, which you use to control. And basically you put the stand on a table, and then you have to kind of lean forwards. What would have benefited that possibly would be if it had a kind of strap to go around the back of your neck to kind of hold it in place. But you need to remember, it's easy to look at that and say it was badly designed or whatever, or unfinished. I would disagree with that, because they were bringing out 3D games way before anybody else brought them out. And I've got to say, the 3D effect is actually pretty damn good. Now I know you wouldn't want to use it for an hour, half an hour even. Probably half an hour is too much, because apparently you get headaches. But I find that even with VR now, even modern VR, I find after half an hour of wearing a headset, I don't get sore heads. But you do get quite uncomfortable because you've just got the thing going all the way around your head, and it does get a wee bit itchy. But you know what? It's. I mean, let's be honest. It's kind of an antique, and it was so far ahead of its time. And the 3D is actually pretty damn good. That I think when I hear people knocking the Virtual Boy, I get quite upset about it because I don't think it's deserved. Yeah, you're always going to improve everything. When the first car came out, are people going to criticise the first car, saying it's not very comfortable? Somebody has always got to be the first to bring something to market, and I completely respect Nintendo for taking that leap of faith. They're bringing out something that ultimately it didn't sell particularly well. Yeah, there was flaws with it. People were complaining of getting sore heads and that kind of stuff. But you know what? I wouldn't get rid of it. I absolutely wouldn't get rid of it. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. It's one of my favourite possessions. And like I says, I think the criticism it gets is unwarranted. It was a very early bit of technology. It was way before anybody else had even contemplated trying to do 3D, and for that completely tip my hat to them. I think well done, Nintendo. So sorry if it's a negative answer, Kev, but I do think it's unfair when people criticise Nintendo for it. It was the first. You look at the first of anything, it's never going to be. It's not going to be as good as something that comes out later on. I'm sure if Nintendo were bringing out a Virtual Boy 10 years later or bringing it out now, it would have a completely different thing. But I mean, there you are. There's my my Samsung VR. Now you look at that. This came out, I don't know, 2017. This came out, I don't know, don't drop it. You know, look at it. It is very, very similar. And can I say that this one isn't really any more uncomfortable than this one. So Nintendo obviously did something right. So I rest my case. So anyway, Kev, thanks very much for all your questions as always, Squire. Yeah, Andy is saying here, those Arcade 1-up cabs are actually running cut-down versions of MAME, and as far as I'm concerned, they're as pointless as Pandora boxes. Yeah, Pandora boxes are these big joystick controllers, and they've got sort of like a version of MAME. I didn't actually know that, Andy, I didn't realise that. At least with real MAME in a PC, I can adjust filters to my heart's content, have super smooth scrolling, and use quality sticks. But anyone who buys one and loves it, fair play to them. Yeah, I was talking about the Arcade 1-up cabs. There's all these little miniature cabs. I think they're a bit of a gimmick personally. You know, you can build your own, which are much better. Colin Jones, great waffle as usual, and this week I have a question. Knowing what you know now, if you went back to the early days of computer gaming, what would you change your hardware purchases? If so, what would you have chosen? Back in the early days, well, my history of buying games, buying systems, Colin, it was what did I have? I never had an Atari 2600. I had the Texas TI 19948, which was disappointing. I would have probably asked my mum and dad. I wanted a Spectrum. I wanted the Commodore 64, but my mum and dad weren't going to get that because it was too expensive. I wanted a Spectrum, and despite what I just said about the Spectrum being affordable, my mum and dad weren't prepared to pay, I don't know how much it was, £100. So they bought me a Texas, which to be honest wasn't the greatest. There was a complete lack of software. I only had ever one game for it, so I got rid of it quite quick, and I bought my C64. If I could have persuaded my mum and dad to get a Spectrum, I would have got the Spectrum, but that didn't happen. So I bought the C64. Would I have changed what computer I bought back then? No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, I think had I got a Spectrum, I would have loved that just as much as the C64, but I don't regret buying a C64. Fantastic machine. It'll always be my favourite 8-bit computer. And then fortunately, I've got different Spectrums. I'm still waiting on the Spectrum Next, by the way. I don't know how. It's now over a year ago. I think it was due to come out May last year, and where are we? We're now in almost October. So yeah, they do keep putting out updates. I don't know when I'm going to get it. Are we going to get it this year? I've got no idea. But yeah, I'm lucky enough. I've got a couple of Spectrums, and the Spectrum's an awesome machine. But as far as would I have changed my mind knowing what I know now? Not at all, Colin. I would have plumped for the C64 every time. So thanks for the question, mate. Next up is Milthy Swinbuckle. That's an absolute fantastic name, by the way. Here's a question to think about. What game do you enjoy playing but have a pet hate with? Things like not being able to turn off the music, not being able to define the controller keys used to play the game, or a bad gameplay mechanic that unbalances the game. What game do I have a love-hate relationship with? Blimey. I tend to, if I've got a game that annoys me, I tend not to play it. What game could it be that I've got a love-hate relationship with? Can't think of any. As far as controls go, I mean, being a C64 man, 99% of games you could use a joystick, so it wasn't really an option. I suppose Commando on the C64, you had to use the space bar for the grenades. When they brought out that kind of update fairly recently, you could use you could hold the fire button. And one gameplay mechanic which always annoys me, and I do mention this on videos, is driving games that insist on you holding the joystick forward to accelerate. Now I know that would sound quite a intuitive kind of control, but when you're playing a driving game and you're having to hold the controller forwards and then you're having to obviously move it left and right, you end up getting a sore wrist, and it just, why do you have to do that? Why can't you have the throttle as a fire button? Holding down the fire button is much easier because you can hold down the fire button and you can be moving left and right. That's a lot easier. If you want to have gears, by all means, up to move up a gear, maybe down to, I don't know, move down a gear, something like that. If you want to brake, you pull back on the fire button. Now here's a thing. Why not automatically accelerate and you use the fire button to brake? That would make much more sense. If you're in a driving game, you're always going to be wanting to go flat out. So have an automatic acceleration. As soon as the game starts, you automatically accelerate without touching the joystick. That leaves your hand free to control it left and right. If you want to touch the brakes, you press the fire button. Having to hold it forwards was always something that bugged me. It really did. But unfortunately, most driving games seem to adopt that. Not all of them, but most of them did. And it just bugged me because sometimes when you're kind of trying to go around a corner, the joystick, you would slow up because you're maybe not holding it forwards properly, so you're having to kind of hold it diagonally to kind of go into corners, and then it was just a bit of a palaver. That always annoyed me with any kind of driving game. The only other game that used to annoy me slightly was Drop Zone on the C64. Fantastic game. Obviously, fire button fires. The cloak button, which makes you invisible, I can't remember. You had to press, was it C or something? I can't remember. But basically, you had to press a button on the keyboard, or was it spacebar? I can't remember. And then there was also the not hyperspace, the smart bomb. So you had to kind of press the keyboard, and it always annoyed me because, the type of game that Drop Zone is, it's very fast paced. It's arcade. It's like Defender. You're just simply too busy to try and press the keyboard, and most people have got their keyboard up there, so trying to control the joystick and then stopping to hit the fire button. I know some people used to put the C64 on the floor and use their foot, which wasn't ideal. It wasn't ideal. So, but nah, the game mechanic that did annoy me most of all was having to hold it up, having to hold the joystick up. Talking about holding joysticks up. There was also the way that you jumped in arcade games, platform games, was to press up. So you're walking along and you press up to jump. Again, why couldn't you use the fire button? That always made it much easier. But like I says, the control of choice back then seemed to be, you hold the joystick up, and it just, because you're holding it up, it would interfere jumping left and right, and it made jumping a lot more difficult. So that's kind of my pet hate with game mechanics. There wasn't one particular game, like I says, Commando, you had to use the space bar for the grenades, and then your Drop Zone, you had to use the keyboard for the cloak and the smart bomb. But my biggest gripe was having to hold the joystick forward to accelerate in driving games, and also pressing it up to jump. That was almost a bit of palaver. I think you've got, where we go, not sure if you agree with this, but as an example of a bad gameplay mechanic, so I should have read that, I would say that one I find annoying, and I know you'll like these games as well, is the low kick in the early one button fighting games. It's usually far too powerful a move, and in a real fight, if you ever tried it, your opponent would simply jump on top of you and beat you to a bloody pulp, while simultaneously laughing at you for thinking that you could take him out by dropping to the ground and kicking him in the ankle. Well, of course, that was the famous move that allowed you to complete Way of the Exploding Fist. Not that I ever done it anyway, but yeah. Second question from Milty Swillbuckle. Another question for you, not sure if it's relevant, but I'll ask it anyway. Do you ever play any of the free games that are programmed by people on PCs? Some of these games can now be counted as retro, but they're pretty old, though post-2000. There's a lot of good games that were made by a single guy at a small company that started off as freeware and got them made into proper indie titles. Spelunky by Derek Yu, Warning Forever by Hikoza T, Kubu N by Metanet Software. Can't say, I've got to say, Milty, I'm not really a PC gamer at all. I mean, I use my PC for obviously playing emulators, but I'm not really into the scene. I don't really play games in Steam at all, so to answer that, no. I mean, generally, if I'm playing a game, if somebody recommends a particular game, they'll say, oh, you need to check it out, then I will go and do that. I'll download it, you know, if it's maybe like an old style game, or a game that just somebody thinks is an awesome game, and somebody recommends it to me, and then I will go and check it out. But I don't really play games on my PC other than old style games. So the answer to that is I don't, unfortunately. For example, there's a freeware arcade style, here's a recommendation, there's a freeware arcade style racing game that can be downloaded by Robert Prins of Foppy Games called Grand Prix that I've played for many years, a small 5 meg download. I'll need to have a look at that then. This is but one of many great free games you can get from game websites. Obviously though, with a lot of people programming freeware, you have to wade through a lot of shite sometimes to find the true gems. Just thought I would mention this, as you don't hear these games being discussed that much, and a lot of the games have retro feel to them. But yeah, thanks for that. I may try. So this Game Jolt is at a sort of front end that I've got to download. I'll have a look at that. I'll absolutely have a look at that, because like I says, if anyone could recommend a good game, I'll always go and check it out, because a good game is always worthy of playing. Bangkok Ian, very enjoyable waffle, mate. Looking forward to watching the 4-hour Behemoth video. Did you get through it, Ian? Interested to know. Resident Evil 2 Remake is the best game I have played so far this year, but I have a feeling that The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening on Switch is going to be even better. Do you have a game you would kill a spider to get an HD remake of? Nah, I've spoke about that quite a few times recently, Ian. Nah, I mean, I think as I've mentioned before, I'd love to see an HD remake of Way of the Exploding Fist, but it would have to be true to the gameplay. I don't want any changes or updates to gameplay, but I would love to see the game, the same graphical style, but just looking super realistic. That would be awesome. Imagine an HD remake with Way of the Exploding Fist with all the original music. That would be awesome. And Rocket Ball, I would love to see a remake of Rocket Ball, but again, they would need to stick to the original gameplay. So yeah, thanks for the question, Ian. And yeah, let's see. This is Milty Swillbuckle again. Excellent waffle as always, Mainmeister. Glad to hear you don't kill our 8-legged friends. Yeah, I was talking about the number of spiders that I get in the house. Fun enough, after making that video, I've only had a few. It was just that 1 week, I seem to be getting loads of them. Apparently peppermint scent, spiders don't like it. Go figure. Never heard of that one, but I don't mind spiders, you know. If I can see them, they're going out. That's the only thing. That's the deal that you understand. If you don't want to get put out, guys, don't let me see you. Yeah, let's see. Ye Oldest Gamer Steve, question for you next waffle, mate. if you were a billionaire and decided to design your own gameplay console or computer to be released in 2020, what would your system look like and what features would it have? That's an excellent question, Steve. Bloody hell, what would it look like? What is my favourite looking console? Ugh. I don't know. I think it would probably have to look something like the Sega Mega Drive. I just think that's a really awesome design. I mean, there's my Mega Drive's down there. It kind of looks like a spaceship. The sleek black. It would definitely be black in colour. It's just awesome looking. It looks exciting. If I was going for a minimalistic kind of modern approach, it would be the original PlayStation, the grey, the slab of grey slate with a little. I mean, actually, when you think about it, the PlayStation does look quite similar to the Sega Mega Drive. It's quite flat and it's got this little raised circle part, so probably look like the Sega Mega Drive. What features would it have? It would have wireless controllers. You would be able to get a gamepad for it. It would also have a wireless arcade stick, 2 joysticks, 16 buttons. It would also have VR. It would be completely cordless, wireless, whatever you want to call it, VR. It would be very, very light. You could put it on your head and you could use the game controllers. It would be cartridge based with no loading. It wouldn't have any updates. The cartridges would support, I don't know, they would support 60 gig. So any modern type game would be on cartridge. It would be instant loading. There'd be none of this download bollocks. You wouldn't have to have an internet connection to play. You would be able to go online and play against your mates. There would be no updates to speak of. It would have. I would obviously negotiate licensing with all the classic arcade manufacturers of the day: Taito, Konami, Irem, Namco, all these classic. So basically, you would be able to buy a cartridge with all your classic arcade games on it that you could just play using your arcade stick. What else? Don't know. It wouldn't be a mini system. It wouldn't be really small. It wouldn't be massive either. It would be similar in size to the Sega Mega Drive. But yeah, controllers would be wireless. It would have an arcade stick with 2 joysticks, 16 buttons. It would have a gamepad, all wireless. It would have built-in VR. It would come in cartridge, no downloading bollocks. You could play online, but you don't need an internet connection to play offline as well. So that would be it would be called the, what would it be called? It would be called the Mainmeister. What else? Yeah. Great question though, Steve. Thanks for that, mate. Another comment by Steve. Great waffle again. Thanks. 4-hour video. Where is it? 4-hour video, huh? Well, call me Mr. No Life, but I'm going to watch it in one go. None, you're not. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. And finally, Andy says here, if you pause my video last Friday's waffle at 25:29, a view for the ladies there. Yeah, that's when I showed my arse, when I stood up to look at that. So I think that is it, guys. I don't know how long this video is, but I'm going to get going and jump in the shower. So, yeah guys, thank you as always for the awesome support that you lot give me. Again, I know I keep apologising for a complete lack of me responding to comments. My life's just too busy at the moment, it really is. And like I said, I would like to think that you'd prefer I make videos than spending time commenting, but I do read every single comment. So, finally guys, hope you have an ace weekend, and as always, thank you very much for watching.